So I have a question for you, ladies and gentlemen. How long can your money last you? Right now, if you liquidated all your portfolios, how long could it last you? Month, couple months, a year at most, 2 years, 3 years? Meaning your lifestyle you have right now, mortgage, rent, car payment, cell phone, all the streaming platforms, your groceries, your traveling, your way of living, blowing money. How long can your money last you? I'm asking you that because if it can't last you 5 years or 10 years, how is it going to last you 20, 25, 30, 35 years in retirement? Subtract Social Security, possible pensions, all of that, 401k. Your money you have right now, how long will it last you? I'm Larry of the No Regret Show, and the reason why I brought that up is I want you to see this.
Barkley. You pull up in a Mercedes-Benz or a Rolls-Royce, that's Charles Barkley. But the problem is that money. It's not the fact that you can't afford that car. Right. It's the fact that $300,000 you spent on that Bentley, if you bought a car for $70,000 or $80,000, you would have had $200,000 more in the bank, and it would have been growing and growing. And in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 20 years, that $200,000 is going to be worth a lot more.
The question is, Charles, is that I tell young people, you can afford that car right now at 20. Will you be able to afford that car at 60?
Yeah, that's the key.
There's a 40-year gap in there.
Yeah. But see, the young guys, they think, like, I always tell them, I say, yo, man, we know stuff. I ain't trying to hate on no young guy. I'm trying to, because I don't want you to be on that list. What list is that? 80% of professional athletes go broke. I don't want you on that list.
Where are they now?
Yeah,
Well, a lot of people saw you on the ESPN 30 for 30 broke.
Yeah.
And I went through it this morning, and I kind of caught some of the highlights of what you talked about during the course of your career.
Uh-huh.
You had, at one point, 40 people in your entourage that you were paying for. 40 grown men that you were paying for their meals, their hotels, their flights.
Yeah.
You spent $15,000 a week on just random shit. You had $1 million in jewelry. You bought a frozen drink restaurant for $30,000 that ended up not even being a real restaurant. You said you didn't have a gambling problem, you had a spending problem.
Yeah. See, that's the difference. Getting it. I got an addiction of getting it. And so if you're getting it, you're gonna spend it. Black people weren't taught how to save money. They said 40 acres and a mule, but what we forgot is that we were the mule, and the 40 acres is every step that you take towards it. And so I've never had nothing in life. And so that's why I've given away $6 million just to people.
My my monthly overhead for my household and household employees was somewhere in the neighborhood of like $1 million a month I was spending.
You were spending $1 million a month in salaries?
Cars. No, just salaries, the mortgage.
Your burn rate every month.
I was burning $1 million a month.
You're burning $1 million a month between your mortgage. Did you own the boat outright, or you had a mortgage on it?
One of them I owned.
$10 million deal. I'm hanging out every day with 50 dudes. They didn't deserve it. I'm buying steaks and lobsters and champagnes every night. We up in Jimmy's, cracking 100 bottles a night. We on G4s. I'm taking bums on G4s. It's disrespect buying 20 Cadillac trucks.
Cracking 100 bottles and you don't even drink.
Yeah, and I don't even drink. And then I go to the bank right here, the Chase Bank on 161. The woman gives me $50,000 cash every day. I'm going there for like 2 years straight for $50,000 cash every day. Like it's a joke. I walked in there one day, the woman says, Oh, Mr. Joe, something must be wrong. What's wrong? It's no money in the bank. I said, what? It's no money in the bank.
Pays hundreds of thousands annually to support the 11 children he's fathered by 9 different women.
James Henry was a talented NFL running back, but his promising career was cut short by a drug trafficking scandal. His involvement in a multi-state cocaine ring shocked his fans. Despite his skills on the field, his off-field troubles, including fathering multiple children, escalated with this serious crime. He was eventually sentenced to 3 years in federal prison, marking the end of his football career. But before we begin,
now former Bears receiver Sam Hurd has been released after a decade behind bars early in 2023. Bureau of Prisons records show that Hurd was released to a residential reentry facility in San Antonio, his hometown.
And a real indication of that is admitting with the fake jewelry.
For sure. So the reason, everybody asks me, why are you so transparent? Why are you so vulnerable and shit like that? And I'm just like, if I would have had the information beforehand, I would have done better in my career. I would have been bigger. I would have gone broke. I would have never done anything. But everybody before me that I had to look up to, they were just like, no, this is great. Once you start rapping, it's gonna just money all the time. Nothing's ever gonna happen bad. Nothing bad's ever gonna happen. Your family's not gonna come after you. Nothing's gonna happen. It's just rap, and it's just girls and swimming pools after this.
so about that, and power to you for just offering it up.
Absolutely.
A lot of people wouldn't admit to going broke.
After I went through that whole episode, if I found out, if I would have known that other artists have gone through this, people I look up to, if they would have just said that, look, it's not all great. It's not gonna be fine this whole time.
You see, a lot of people come into money when they're young. Athletes, actors, rappers, but they don't understand that they got the rest of their lives to live. If you gave me $50 million at the age of 20, 21 as an athlete, it would have been gone. Here's why. That 50 million would not be 50 million. It's 25 million. As soon as you get that money, the IRS enters the chat. Then you got agents, you got taxes, you're in the highest tax bracket. I would have lost it. I don't know about you. Now, you may know about money now, but what about back when you were 20 and 21, 2022? You were 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I would have blew through it. You want to know why? I lost homes and money through a divorce in my 20s. You don't think I would have got divorced and lost all that money? It happens over and over again because people don't plan for later on. It happens right now. Athletes, rappers, actors, they lose money with investment projects that their friends and them told was going to make more money. They lose money. They never hear from their friends again. They're buying cars, big mansions, houses. You get athletes that will buy a $10 million mansion, not knowing within 2 or 3 years they're getting traded. What are you going to do with that home? Say you bought at peak home prices. You're going to hold on to that home and buy a new home in the new city that you're in? You see, a lot of people never worry about the later on. They worry about right now. That's why I asked, how long can your money last you? How long could your investments, not anything else, Social Security, your 401k, your money that you're putting away, your lifestyle, your current lifestyle, not, oh, we got to scale back and now we got to eat ramen noodle. What you're spending right now, have you done a budget? Have you sat down and did a budget? Do you know how long your money will last? Say you had to liquidate everything you have, savings accounts, dividend stocks, your speculative portfolios, your index funds. How long could you and your family last off that? See, what happens is it comes to an end. It always comes to an end. It's called retirement. A lot of players, have you ever seen them? They're taking performance enhancing drugs. There's a number of reasons. They're trying to get another contract. They're trying to live out the glory days. They're trying to play just maybe one more contract longer so they can get that payday because they blew through a lot of that money in the past. How long can you go through it? How long can you keep going at your job? A lot of times, people are forced to retire, meaning they get laid off or fired before they want to. How long do athletes, how long can they go? A lot of athletes, subtract the Jordans and LeBrons and all them, you got normal basketball players that ride the pine, that they make the bare minimum. How long can they last off that? A lot of people got to go get other careers. You see, ladies and gentlemen, we don't think about that. We don't think about our minds break down, our bodies break down. We don't want to deal with coworkers anymore. We don't want to deal with the boss anymore. This is why I've tried so hard to have people put their money away and save for the future, because being broke in the future will suck for a lot of people. It's going to suck. Let's be honest. It's going to suck for a lot of people. They're going to be forced to do things they don't want to do. Hell, you got influencers that played in the NFL and then had to get other careers and left those careers, and now look what they're doing on social media just to keep the fly stuff they got. Some of you may know who I'm talking about. It is what it is, but look at what they got to go through. If they really had all the millions and all the money that they really said that they had, would they be forced to do the things they're doing now? Credibility is everything. A lot of players end up going to prison. There's countless players. Once the money ran out, they've gone to prison. There's countless players. They blew through the money. They end up, doing drugs and alcohol, alcohol addiction. Some of your greatest Hall of Fame players have been in the news, in the past. They're bankrupt. They're in the Hall of Fame, but they're bankrupt because they blew through the money, because they didn't have proper money management. They thought the money would last forever. This is why this is a very important video where how long can your money last? How long can you do the things you're doing and what you love? How long can you do that? How long can you take care of your family for? The people that live underneath your roof. Not taking care of friends and family and everybody and them, just you. If you can't do it for 5 years or 10 years, how you going to do it for 20, 25, 30? So, have a great weekend. I hope this video helps. I hope this is like a wake-up moment for a lot of people, because a lot of people's futures are going to be very grim. No regrets. Get it.